Wake up! Wake up! Fergus! Fergus, wake up! Get your camera, man! Wake up! Just get your camera. This is going to be awesome. I've had the coolest idea in the world, okay? You know how the internet is full of these web TV shows? We make our own one. But all the great things that are happening in London, all the things that we geeks take for granted, it will be sweet.
But what are we going to call it?
Hello and welcome to World of Geek. I am Richard Preston and this is your guide to all the wonderful and amazing things that happen in life that us geeks take for granted. With me behind the camera, as always, is my half-geek in training, Fergus. Say hello, Fergus.
Hi, guys.
Shut up, Fergus. Now, coming up in today's show, we'll be looking at comics and video games, specifically the London Super Comic Con that happened a few weeks back. We'll be chatting to some of the artists, some of the writers there, but also, get this, Mr. Stan Lee, yes, Mr. Stan Lee chatted to me, that rhymes. We'll also be looking at the launch of the PS Vita, that's Sony's portable handheld gaming machine that came out a few weeks back, and finding out if it was any cop at all. But first, me. I know what you're thinking, I can feel it in my brain. You're thinking, what is WebTV? Well, I'll tell you, since you asked. WebTV is television produced at home by people like you, people like me, people like, okay, not Fergus. It's television about anything you want it to be about, and it's produced on a shoestring budget. There are no studios involved, there's no advertiser interest, there's no big money men to get in the way. It's just whatever you want it to be about. All you need is the equipment you have available, a fairly decent computer, the internet, and possibly a very interesting hobby of some kind. You can't be boring if you're going to make web TV. It doesn't work. So, apart from the sure to be excellent World of Geek, what else is there out there? When I say web TV, I don't mean the likes of BBC iPlayer, ITV or 4OD and the like, showing broadcast shows online. No, this is about my favourite self-produced online video series, in no particular order, starting with Zero Punctuation, where a somewhat angry British guy reviews video games, which always seem to get him more angry. Also, he doesn't seem to breathe very much.
Still, it's always nice to see a big property actually getting all wrapped up before it face plants into too many yeast infections.
Then there's Down on Their Luck sitcom Assassinate, produced by two of my favourite Canadians, it's brother and sister David and Kate Hewlett, who were actually in Stargate Atlantis together. Oh, Stargate Atlantis. The thing is, they work so well together. Next up is The Guild, a comedy drama about a group of online role-playing geeks, created by Geek Heroine #1, Felicia Day. That's the ginger one there. Then there's Comedy Diva, a US comedy group who've given us this stunningly well-observed Geek Therapy.
I need you to make me a geek. Please help me. Please. I don't want to be alone anymore.
Watch this in its entirety. Watch it until you can quote it. And you will have geek girls eating out of the palm of your hands.
Okay. Firefly. That sounds really hot.
Do not abuse this power I have given you, or you will find yourself in a special level of hell.
And, more recently, the Geek Public Service announcement with Stargate Universe's David Blue.
Half in the bag.
From Red Letter Media, the people who brought us the fantastic Mr. Plinkett's new Star Wars trilogy reviews, comes half in the bag, the funniest film review show since the internet itself.
So they made this trailer look like a bunch of people just got together and said, we need to plug in all the appropriate elements into a movie to make dumb people go see it in droves.
Yeah, the cliches in it are so laughably bad, but it's so close to reality.
And their new show, Game Station, some kind of games review piss take thing. You know, it reminds me of Consolvania, another video games thing. Those boys, those simple Scottish boys, they had the funny. They really did. Then there's this.
He's gonna take you back to the past.
From Cinemassacre, the angry video game nerd is easily one of the most expertly produced shows online. It's a must-see for games fans, obviously. You know. Or the inspiring Extra Credits, the greatest set of lectures you could ever be privileged to listen to, which aren't on TED, which is also web TV, sort of. But don't get that confused with this kind of web TV. Major franchise spin-off shows like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, a big budget video game tie-in starring 7 of 9 and Battlestar Man. Or Torchwood Web of Lies, another web-only tie-in but this time from a TV show, something also done
by The Walking Dead, but with much, much, much more blood. These are just some of my favourites, but there are dozens more sites and shows I just didn't have the time or the copyright privileges to mention. And I will leave you with this. From the creator of Buffy, Joss Whedon, and his family, comes Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, the single greatest web TV show ever produced. Watch it.
Back everyone, nothing here to see. Just imminent danger in the middle of it, me. Yes, Captain Hammer's here, hair blowing in the breeze. The day needs my saving expertise.
And now, I believe, a PS Vita launch.
I am right. This is the PS Vita launch, the UK PS Vita launch. It's a big deal, so let's find out what that big deal is all about. So there we have it. That's what happens when Sony launch a console. They get some famous people out, some blokes off the telly, some bloke off the morning radio, my dad, and they have a party. I have no idea what's going on in there. This is much more like it. This is the same place, open to the public, and they can come in and they can play the PS Vita, and they can play it some more, and then a little bit more, and then they can decide if they're going to go away and buy it. Right now, as we film this, it's the eve of the launch of the PS Vita. Tonight, at midnight, Game, just down the road from here, will be opening its doors to let the first people in the United Kingdom buy a PS Vita, and I bet they are so excited right now, about 7 hours before the store opens. But in the meantime, let's have a look around here, eh? What do you guys think of the PS Vita?
It's pretty impressive. I mean, for a games console, which, you know, you can take anywhere, it's quite good.
So you're one of the die-hard fans. You've had your eye on this for a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
So nothing was going to dissuade you from getting one of these?
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Do you think the PS Vita is expensive? Do you think it's too expensive?
It's quality. So no, I don't. It's quality. It's worth it.
Which games are you looking forward to?
FIFA.
All right, yeah. What about Wipeout or anything like that?
Nah, I saw Wipeout there. It didn't look good. Uncharted looks good.
I think it does look attractive as a console. You know, like it looks stylish as well. You know, it doesn't look. I mean, I've got a 3DS as well, but unfortunately, it's square. It's bulky. You know, it's for sure. You know, this is bigger, but it certainly has more appeal looks-wise.
And do you think a lot of people who play the iPhone just casually and around, do you think they'll want one of these?
I've got an iPhone and I play it, and I'm still getting one of these.
Yeah, but I think I'm getting a whiff of hardcore gamer off of you here. You know what, Fergus? It's dead in here. We'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go away, get some lunch, come back at midnight, and we'll see if anyone's actually queuing up to be the first person in the UK to buy this thing. Because right now it's looking a little bit quiet.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And so, in the end, this lucky PlayStation fan became the first person in the UK to own a PS Vita that didn't import it. Game filled up with customers, and everyone went home a little poorer, but really far, far richer.
Here I am at the London Super Comic Con. Later in the show, we're going to be talking to Mr. Stan Lee. That's the creator of the X-Men and Spider-Man and Iron Man and everything else you can possibly have read by Marvel. But before that, we'll be chatting to some of the authors and some of the writers of the comic books here, some of the punters, some of the lovely cosplayers with their fantastic costumes, and just generally checking the place out, finding out what it's like to be a real geek in a real geeky place.
I found a genuine artist. This is Jamie McKelvie. You are the artist of, let me get this right, X-Men?
X-Men Season 1. It's specifically about the original 5 X-Men who were Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Iceman, Beast and Angel. So it's about the first year of the X-Men, pretty much for people who've never read X-Men before.
This is something I'm quite excited about. You're also working on the Guild.
Yes, we're doing a one-shot single issue about Will Wheaton's character Fawkes, and Felicia and Will wrote it together, and I'm drawing it, and then Matt Wilson, who colours most of my stuff, is colouring it as well.
Is that out?
That is out May 23rd, I think.
Okay, I think we can end it. Jamie's now showing off, so I think this is probably a good place to end it. Jamie, thank you very, very much. Thank you. Do you all geek together regularly as a family?
Yes, we're a bunch of geeks.
Who's your favourite comic book character?
Deadpool. That guy with his gun that gave me the gun.
Oh, Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Now, in a moment, we'll be chatting to none other than Mr. Stan Lee, but before we go into that, for those of you who may not know who he is, and to those people I say, where the hell have you been? Here's who Stan Lee is. Born Stanley Martin Lieber in New York City in 1922, Stan Lee grew up enjoying the big movies of the day, swashbuckling adventures starring Errol Flynn. But, oh no! As a young man, Lee was bitten by a radioactive writer, putting him on a path of creativity. By the early 40s, a teenage Lee found himself writing captions of timely comics for Captain America, quickly becoming an editor and creating his own characters. But with the outbreak of war, Lee does his bit for his country, returning safely and marrying in 1947. It's his wife who encourages Lee to make his characters more flawed, spawning the Marvel Revolution, with Lee creating the likes of Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, the X-Men, the Hulk, and many others. Soon, Marvel ruled. Lee's approach propelled Marvel into superstardom, and while Lee sat in the chairman's seat for a while, he chose to leave and continue his path of creativity. Today, Lee promotes the comic book giant, does his web TV show World of Heroes, tweets prolifically, and loves to meet his many, many fans. It's rare that he's in Britain. It's been 40 years, so we're very lucky to be talking to the 89-year-old king of popular culture that is Mr. Stan Lee. Hello, Stanley, how are you?
Well, I'm pretty good. I'm having a great time at this London con.
So tell me, why is it such a good idea to have these American shows in London? What do the London fans get from this kind of thing, do you think?
Well, I think the London fans read the same things that the American fans do.
Of course.
They feel the same way, and I'm happy to say.
And are you getting a warm reception here?
Oh, I've gotten the greatest reception in the world. England is my second favorite nation, you know. I'm American, but my wife is English, and I just love the British. I just wish I could come more often.
People here are very passionate about the comics and so on.
Oh, I can see that.
What are you passionate about in life?
Doing interviews like this, going to comic book conventions. I'm passionate about just about everything. I love the work I do. I love being with my wife. I love...
It's very clear you love your fans from what we've seen today.
The fans are the greatest. Love isn't a strong enough word. I mean, they are so nice, and they make me feel so welcome and so warm. It's just great. The funny thing about these comic book shows, in America, what happened, they started out being purely comics. Little by little, they become comics, movies, television, video games, and it becomes popular culture. And judging by the fans and their enthusiasm and how beautiful everything is going here, I predict it's going to be the same thing. Next year when they have this convention, there'll be a little more thing about movies and about TV. There'll be video game things. Little by little, American movie stars and directors will come over to be guests here, and that's what happens.
And that's just part of the game, is it?
It really is, yeah. It's all contemporary entertainment, and entertainment goes all around the world, and people in every country are equally interested in it.
Mr. Lee, thank you so much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you. Okay.
Now here at the London Super Comic Con, one of the best things to do is get your favourite comic books signed by the artists and the authors. Now I think, Fergus, give me those. You've got a couple here. Let's see now, we've got JLA Avengers, that's George Perez, and Batman the Killing Joke here, which is Brian Bolland. So I'm going to see if I can get these signed. Yeah, he's signing later on. He won't sign just off the cuff. You have to go and queue up.
Well, I think people would still mostly know me for Doctor Who. At the moment, I'm writing for DC Comics. I'm doing a title called Demon Knights, and I've got a comic coming out from Vertigo in March called Saucer Country.
Is that all yours? All your own work?
Well, I'm the writer. If I drew it would just be the adventures of Captain Stickmen on the planet of the Stickmen.
I think a lot of writers might humbly say that kind of thing.
No, really. You have no idea how little I can draw. I can draw badly. I can't draw at all.
Do you come to all these kind of conventions to do signings and stuff?
Yeah, I really enjoy them. They're kind of my recreation, really. It's a way of saying to my brain that it's actually work as well as being fun, you know.
What would you say to folks at home who are watching this thinking, oh dear, it's full of geeks and stuff? What would you say to them to get them down here?
Who isn't a geek now? We won a few years back, and the world belongs to the geeks now.
Okay, so George Perez was a bus. Let's try... Who are we on now? Brian Bollins. Good luck, Fergus. Yeah, no, he's not signed till later either. Jacob Woodward, you are the artist for...
well, the upcoming Star Trek Doctor Who crossover called Simulation Squared.
Now, this is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. This is very true. There is going to be a comic book which crosses over Doctor Who and Star Trek. It's Matt Smith's Doctor with Captain Picard, am I right?
Generation Star Trek, yeah.
How did this come about?
Chris Ryall, the editor-in-chief over at IDW, had been wanting to do this for a while and has been trying to find a way, and literally for years. One day I sent him an email and asked him what was going on with that, and he says, oh, it's funny you asked because it looks like it could happen now. 2 months later he called me and I got the job.
Has anyone ever written a Captain Robert April story? There's a little bit of lore that Reed Roddenberry once said that there was a captain before Pike and his name was April, and that there's no one to ever come back to that. Do you know? This is a very geeky question. This is very geeky, by the way.
This is deep cut stuff right here. You gotta be real stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna actually check with Chris Ryall on that now, because if it hasn't been done, I would like to do it.
Okay, I won't mess with you because I like being alive, so don't kill me. Fergus, getting close here. Look at his shoulder. Look at that. There's a tiny little Silver Surfer right there. I had no idea it was that small.
Yeah, it's a really friendly atmosphere. I would like to see more costumes, though. A lot of these people disappointed me with this whole lack of spandex.
Oh, I urge you to come along to London Super Comic Con. These things are fantastic. Well, check it out. We got our book signed. Well, okay, it's Fergus's book. Yeah, I know Fergus. This is his book. He got it signed. He's very happy. And I bought my first ever superhero graphic novel. Now, I'm not normally into superheroes, as I probably already mentioned, but this is bloody good, and this show is bloody good. If you're not into comics, come along here. If you've seen Thor or Captain America and you're not sure, well, they're all right, they're good films, come here. This is where it all started. This is where these guys first came up with the idea. Okay, not here, but the people who came up with them are here, and those people are worth meeting. Oh my God, I'm knackered. I'm totally knackered. I need to sleep. A cup of tea, I think. Yeah, a cup of tea. You know what, Fergus? We've made something very, very important here today. Very important indeed. I just want to thank everyone who helped us make these first set of webisodes of World of Geek. I've got a little list here. Bear with me. I want to thank Ellen Linder for her amazing Stan Lee art, and I want to thank Stan Lee himself for being Stan Lee and letting us talk to him. I want to thank Darren Passarello for helping us out with the whole Stan Lee thing. I want to thank JK Woodward, Jamie McKelvie and Paul Cornell for giving up their time to chat to us while they're busy signing things. I want to thank PlayStation for letting us into their PS Vita launch. And I want to thank everyone who stopped to talk to us during our filming. For those of you who liked Ellen Linder, you can check out her fantastic new graphic novel, Undertow. That's Undertow, available right now. There will be more from World of Geek very, very soon, but if you can't wait that long, and let's face it, who can? You cannot wait that long. Then check us out on YouTube and Twitter. There's plenty more stuff on there. We're always blabbing away. It's always worth a look. But in the meantime, I want to thank you for watching and tell everyone out there to be careful and have fun in this, your World of Geek.